What's going on? Welcome everybody back to the House of Nerd Show. Good morning, happy Sunday. Yes,
Good
it's
morning.
Sunday morning. Joined here by the one and only Keisha. What's going on, Keisha? How you doing?
What's up, Sergio? I'm good. I am better now. It's been a rough weekend, but
Oh no.
today is good.
Yeah?
The kids are sick, and I miss Free Comic Book Day. So
No.
that hurt.
Yeah. I bet, man. What anything in particular you were trying to get your hands on?
See, that's the thing. We have this thing where we would hit like a bunch of comic book shops and we get everything.
Okay.
So like Free Comic Book Day, I'm not particular at all. I would get everything, but
You did the rounds, made sure you got them all.
absolutely. And there's like 4 of us, so
Okay. Okay, that's cool. I was lucky enough to hit up my local shop. One of them, anyways. Yes, I just made it. I made it for like the last hour. So I was able to pick up a couple.
So what'd you get?
As well? You know, I should have been more prepared. I have them here somewhere. I got like a couple DC freebies, indie aftershock, some for the kiddies. So
Yeah, they usually have good ones for kids.
they do. They got good ones for the kids. So it's been a while since you've been on the show.
Yes.
What you've been up to, man? What's going on these days in the church?
What I do since the last time I hosted a panel at the Black Comic Book Festival in New York at the Schomburg, that was like an amazing experience. I got to meet John Jennings and just like every Ron Wimberly. Like I met almost every idol I have, which is like really, really dope.
That's super cool.
Yes.
And you said you hosted like a panel?
Yeah, so the panel was about Black women in comics and just like marginalized voices and what the comic book industry looks like for people trying to get into it, being a marginalized voice. So
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Great.
Okay, man. Where can we find like this?
Right. I should be better at that, right?
Yeah. So everybody can check it out, right?
Right. Right now it's on the Schomburg's YouTube. So they streamed it live and it's up there now. So if you look for Black women and marginalized voices in comics for the Black Comic Book Festival, you should see the panel that I hosted. Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out, Keisha. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, that's dope. So shout out, thank you to everybody who's joining us this Sunday morning. We got a dope show, a fun show planned for you guys. In just a moment, we're gonna be bringing on Mr. John Lees and Mr. Adam. You know what? I didn't check with him on the pronunciation on the last name, so apologies if I butcher. I want to say Cahoon. Well, I'll check with him and just we're gonna bring him in. And an artist of the Nasty, the new heater from Vault Comics, man. You guys been watching?
That was good.
Check, paying attention on the socials. We've been talking about, we've been loving it. So super excited to have those gents on. Just a quick shout out to Amanda W, a fellow Canuck West Coaster. Okay, so she's like I want to say 8 a.m. Her time. I always appreciate seeing her in the chats. Early riser. And then we got Derpy Entertainment. What's he saying? He's saying Guardian Street caused me emotional damage and trauma. Oh, he's getting right into the Guardian stock. Okay.
Stop.
I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely plan on watching it. I've heard good things.
I'm excited for it. I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
I love it.
Hopeful, James Gunn usually, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good morning to you, Derpy. So you know what? I think let's bring on the writer, the artist of The Nasty from Vault Comics, John Lees, and Senor Adam
No, keep going.
Cahoon?
You can do it.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds good. We don't know.
Okay.
Nobody knows.
No, I completely butchered. You know, I'm usually pretty good with asking, double checking the pronunciation of the name, but I was telling Keisha.
Yeah, no, I think you got it.
I got it. Okay,
Yeah.
right on.
I would have turned around if you called that name out in the crowd. I would have turned around. I'd be like, yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I think we should start a bit where you slightly change your name pronunciation every time we do an interview. Just come up with increasingly elaborate ones.
Yeah.
Like the Q is silent.
Well, it's a Scottish name. So John, you can have at it, man.
Cahoon?
Cahoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like Cahoon.
Nice.
So here we go. We're getting some information right off the bat. I didn't know. So are you Scottish as well then, Adam? Or
my ancient grandparents are. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
But
And
no,
of course-
I'm from here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then John.
I'm very Scottish. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, folks.
I'm like Scottish, not like, whenever I go to America, like, can I have someone like, come and go like, my great grandpa's
Yeah,
Scottish.
yeah, that's me.
No, it's always like, they don't even say Scottish, they say Scotch. I'm Scotch.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that's cool, man. So all the way from Scotland, enjoying the beautiful Scottish afternoon. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, beautiful is maybe pushing it. Like grey and miserable is the usual default.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I like to say like the 4 seasons in Scotland are like, heavy rain, warm rain, depressing rain, and cold rain.
So I don't know how good I'd be over. I love the sun, as you can tell. I'm like super sun, but I got way too much sun yesterday, so I'm a little cooked. But
Just rubbing it in.
yeah, no.
right? Just
I've got too much, so I don't even want the sun that I've got.
So in Toronto, we get about like 3, if we're lucky, 3 months of decent weather. So like we gotta take advantage anytime that we get it.
very true.
But thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming through the house, man. We're excited to talk about the Nasty.
Yes.
The new book from Vault Comics, one of our favorite publishers. I love what Vault's doing. Very excited to have you gentlemen on. So thank you so much for coming through.
Well, thanks for having us. Excited to chat.
And we got Joey
Yes.
Paquette. Joey Paquette of the Pink Buzz Boys.
Hello.
I think you might have been on this show, if I'm not mistaken. Pink Buzz? Joe, am I mistaken? Maybe not.
Yeah, no, I know Joe from Twitter.
Yeah. George Biggs, good morning. Thank you so much for
George.
joining
Good
us.
morning.
And we got Richard Morgan all the way from the UK. What's going on? Yo. Just pitting a variant cover whilst watching.
Nice.
Okay. And then who do we have? Who's this? Who do we got in the house?
Hey,
I'm not sure who that is. I don't
Nice.
follow colorists, so I don't know.
that's my guy.
You guys know this who is this? Color with Kurt. Sounds familiar.
Well, he spelled color wrong for a start.
Oh, get out of here! You're abusing that you.
He did spell color wrong.
No, man, that's the right way.
Right, that is the right way.
I prefer it my way.
And look, Joey's confirming twice. Okay, he's a regular over there. Gentlemen, for those who might not be familiar or are sleeping under a rock, can you hit us with a little bit of information regarding the Nasty?
Sure. The Nasty is a coming-of-age horror comedy set in 1990s Scotland against the backdrop of the Video Nasties moral panic. Video Nasties moral panic, for those who aren't aware, was this big thing that happened in the UK in the 80s and 90s. A bit like the kind of British cousin to the Satanic Panic that, you guys had. Where over here it was like the government and right-wing provocateurs got in a panic about various horror VHS and things. There was big moves to ban them and criminalize them. So that was kind of like by the 1990s, that was in its waning days, but it was still around to a degree. I mean, I remember it when I was a kid. So it's kind of like that worked into a story. And our story follows the narrative of Thumper Connell, who is this lonely, horror-loving teen who still has his imaginary friend from childhood who happens to be the star of his favourite slasher movie, Red Ennis. So Thumper and various other horror-loving oddballs meet at their local video shop to watch banned horror movies on the down low, and they get their hands on a particularly elusive, cursed tape, which things start to go very wrong once they start trying to watch it.
Perfect.
I'ma just I love this comic so much. Like, just the characterization that happened in that first issue alone was just like fantastic. Just
Well, thank you very much.
okay.
Like I'm very proud of this one that's because it feels like I've done a lot of comics, and obviously like I like all the stuff that I've done, but this feels particularly close to my heart. It's probably like, you know, my most personal thing, as you can tell, like with the Scottish setting and all that. So yeah, like, you know, when people like it, you know, when it resonates with them, it definitely means a lot.
And you know what? I'm gonna share Keisha's sentiments here, man. Just absolutely, really. It's for. I don't think I've ever said this about a horror book, but it's just there's a charm to this. It's completely charming. It's a gem of a read, man. I'm telling you, folks, if you aren't already, you're gonna want to pick this book up. It's got.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead,
I'm sorry. I think what you're saying is tied directly to what John is saying, because the story isn't like just a straight slasher scary horror movie. There's so much heart in this book because of how much of John put in this book. Like it's so much of just in getting to know him over this project. Like there's so much of him in this story, and that's what I think elevates it to that special place.
Absolutely,
it's the most wholesome a comic can be when it has someone having a spike to their face in the first page, you know.
No, but it is wholesome. Like you feel like this guy read in this, like you're like, oh my god, he's so cute, but you know he's like a whole slasher. Like
I could fix him. We'd be
right.
I like that. I can fix him. That's good. That's good.
Right.
No, that's a good point. I mean, you've got Red Ennis, right? Who's this character in these movies? It's I'm sorry. What was the series of films?
Labor Day.
Yeah. Labor Day, right? Yeah. So very menacing, ultra violent character, but I love it, and I didn't really think of it until you mentioned it. But he does. There's a look to him that makes him maybe not entirely super menacing, right?
That was actually a lot of thought put into that at the time. I remember when like George Cambadase, who was like the artist originally in the first two books and the first two issues, when we were talking about design for like Red Ennis and like how can we draw him. And originally, I think I'd given the super not helpful note of like, give him an interesting mask, But then I thought I better think about this some more, and I was trying to think about like ways to kind of like you say, have him be someone who's convincingly the star of a slasher movie, but also has a quality where they seem quite like wholesome. I think the main thing is in the eyes. I had this idea of like if you have big circular eyes in a character, even if like they're covered in blood, like you'll read something in those eyes, you'll see something cartoonish, like if they have like big eyes in their face. So that was like a kind of like note that we put in to kind of make them feel like intimidating, but also kind of inviting, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. So it offers up, very fitting because, it offers up this great juxtaposition, right? You've got this violence and gory aspect to the book, but then again, there's the charming side, right, to it. Just can't help but feel I don't know, it gave me a little bit of the fuzzies reading it, which is weird because of some of the stuff that's going on.
Some of the subject,
yeah,
like you want him to protect the main character. Like that's how I felt. I was like, go ahead, slash a few people. Like it's fine. We're good with this.
Just a little slash as a treat.
maybe I want to be buddies with this guy. We're red on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was definitely a conscious thing in terms of like wanting it to feel that way, because like for me, I feel like in my experience, like I associate horror with like, comfort viewing and with like, escapism and like positive feelings. Like, I have happy childhood memories of like, watching Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever, and like that's kind of carried through like all through life. I just associate like, horror with community, with like time spent with friends, whether it be like sleepovers as a kid or even now when I go to like, horror festivals with my friends, that for me like is like associated with like positive things and is like my happy place. So like, I wanted to kind of like convey that in the story.
Absolutely, and one of the early scenes in issue number 1, I mean, we see a young Thumper here, and kind of really captures that what you were just saying. There's this love and this enthusiasm, right? Like you can see it there. He's watching his horror flicks, and there's like a genuine just a joy, which is really captured great. I love that shot there.
Oh yeah, I've never had an imaginary friend as a kid, but I did spend a lot of time daydreaming about how cool it would be if Michael Myers was my pal. So this is like where that kind of inspiration came from.
So now I gotta ask Adam. Adam, you ever have an imaginary friend as a kid, or perhaps even now? I mean,
yeah, no, I don't have time for imaginary friends now. Yeah, no, I never did. I definitely had imaginary conversations with fictional people, but yeah, I never walked the streets with one holding my hand.
Okay. Good to know. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, sometimes you just need a buddy walking with you.
Yeah, no.
On the street.
Yeah, like
right.
We got Richard saying, I need to read this. Sounds cool. Sounds like when Hannibal Lecter is being charming. You don't know he's a killer yet. You really want to be friends with him.
Yeah. That's a tough position to be in, man.
Something. Yeah. Could be onto something. Keisha, I gotta ask. I asked Adam. I gotta ask you now. Imaginary friends?
Yeah. When you're neurodivergent, yeah. It's kind of like a requirement at this point.
Okay. I might have to hear a few more details after we start.
Off camera.
You've piqued my interest there. And you know what? I failed to mention. Congratulations, guys, because the Nasty going to a second printing, issue number 1. And you can see the super cool covers there, courtesy of Adam there. Really love it, man. I mean, congrats, selling out. Doesn't happen. You don't see it too often. I feel like, or at least I feel like I don't see it too often these days. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt really good. Like, obviously this is my first collaboration with Vault. Like, Vault are like a really big deal. And like I really wanted the book to do well, like, for them, for all the work that I'd put in it and all the work that Adam put in it and the rest of the team. So I wanted to make sure it was successful. And you have these kind of like catastrophe like scenarios playing out in your head, like you imagine, like like Adrian at Vault is going to message you going, I don't know how, John, but this book somehow sold negative 100 copies. But I'm like, you're worried, but so like when they said like that not only the book done well but it done great, and like it had these really high order numbers in, like it's my most successful book I've ever done, so that was great. And on top of that, to then find out that the book had sold out of that really strong print run, like we went into a second print, was even better. And just for me, like, one of the things that makes me happiest is that knowing there's a second print means that there's a better chance that if someone's heard of the book and then they missed out time, they have another chance to pick it up. Because for me, yeah, it's great hearing your book sold out, whatever, but like what I want more than anything else is for whoever wants to read The Nasty to be able to read The Nasty. So I'm glad that they went for this second print super quick.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very deserving.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I believe this is your first book with Vault, right?
Yes, it is. Been talking with them for a long time, but yes, the first time we've worked together, and it's been great. They're a great publisher. The whole team, from marketing through design and all the people around there. I mean, you just really feel like you're supported when you're working with them. You feel they're behind you. They're like they're doing all they can to put the best version of the book out into the world.
I honestly,
there while I was talking. So
yeah, we've had a bunch of Vault creators on the show here, and we hear nothing but great things, man. So I mean, and I think you have a great team behind the publisher. I mean, on top of the creators, like they're belting out, quality titles.
Definitely,
including the Nasty Man. We love it over here. And so there, folks. The second printing of issue number 1 is releasing this Wednesday, correct?
Yep.
Along with issue number 2?
Along with issue 2. So, issue 1 came out last month, and yes, is just ahead for issue 2. So, hopefully, if your shop's ordered up for the second print, you'll be able to go to your local comic shop and pick up issue 1 and issue 2 this coming Wednesday.
Yep. I'll be picking up the second printing as well. Excited. I told my shop I was there yesterday for free comic book day. I said, you guys better make sure you got a be safe for me. Definitely. So Adam, you came on in the series. Well, you've been on since the beginning, but you're the full illustrator beginning with issue 3, correct?
Issue 3, yeah. So they brought me on, I think in November, to just sort of help fill out some background information. So like I designed with John's prompts. I designed all the posters in the video shop, and then all like the the VHS cases on the video. So all the kind of the culture of the scenes for issues 1 and 2, and then George had to leave to do another project, and so they brought me on to be the lead artist starting at issue 3.
Okay, gotta say, I mean, one of my notes here is it's here somewhere. I love all the posters.
Thank you. That was a dream. That was a dream project, and it was awesome because I know Tim Daniel at Vault. We've worked together on some design things, and he wrote me a letter and was like, "Hey, we need some help on this book. Would you want to do kind of this background, sort of anonymous stuff?" And as I'm reading the email, I'm like, nah, I don't know. This sounds like like not the right project. And then I got to the list of 30 movie titles that John had written, and I was like, no, I'm definitely doing this project. These are all funny.
That's great. And so that was, you answered my question. So John, you came up with those.
So the base of the story behind it all was, I think originally when I'd first written the script for issue 1, I think it said something along the lines of, for Monster Dome Video, like, George, feel free to come up with some funny, designs or whatever for posters. And like the version that came in looked good. You could see it was a video shop and stuff, but was missing like that kind of extra touch of all those little video posters and covers, which was such a big part of the video shop experience for me as a kid. I wanted to have conveyed. So the Vault had said, we got someone who's going to be doing some poster designs for us. So do you want to come up with some titles for them? So yeah, I already had all of the Labor Day titles in my head. We had Labor Day 2 the next September, Labor Day 3, Blade of the Proletariat, Labor Day 4, the final chapter, Labor Day 5, the Resurrection of Red Ennis, Labor Day 6, Red Ennis takes Hoover Dam, Labor Day 7, the new final chapter. I'm missing one somewhere, but we get the idea. Guts Parade, that's one of the other ones.
Guts Parade,
so I had all them, and then I thought, I'll just come up with some other titles for posters. So we came up with Pervert, Bigfoot, Death Cabbage, Night of the Deviants, all kinds of other ones, and Butt Munchers was a good one. And then I came up with all these ideas for posters, and then and also just not just horror stuff, just pure generic 90s rom-com stuff like Duvet Day. And usually, and for most of the time it was just the title, but occasionally I'd put a little prompt Special D Livery, which is about a killer postman who ruins people's livers. And there was one Taste Buds, which is undercover cops working as chefs. There's all these ideas, and I threw it over to Adam, and then he just knocked out the park. It was so much just a fun process of he had I had this list of things, and he just made everyone funnier because the way he interpreted the images just made it pop all the more. And some of them I was surprised by. I think one of the titles was Poopy Pants. And I was like, I don't know what the heck Adam's going to draw for this. But then the poster for Poopy Pants is just this guy sitting to kind of smile, and you just look at that poster, and you're like, yeah, I just know that guy's a Poopy Pants, So, so it was a really fun process of collaboration. And yeah, I think that just added a whole other dimension to the comic and brought it to life.
Absolutely, yes. And we got George Biggs here with a great comment. He's saying the posters are a huge reason the world of the nasty feels so real. Hard agree. I love all I love a book with a lot of detailed background, and then it just not only that it gives this world really a sense of being lived in. Fully realized. With I think is it great. It's one of those books when books are able to do that. It really takes you away. I love that as a reader. So love it, Adam, man. I think my favorite one is probably Death Cabbage.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, is how detailed are you guys? Is there some kind of a loose plot line for this one?
I have rough synopses of all these movies. I think actually one point on Twitter, while we're promoting the movie, I was writing little tweets summing up the plots of all these various movies, or going into the marketing spiel, the little marketing taglines, pretending I was the promo guy. My favorite one, I think, was for Butt Munchers. I had the kind of tagline of sometimes you eat ass and sometimes ass eats you. Which is which is very good. And then I have all these kind of backstories for all of them. But yeah, and I was I think one of these days maybe we'll to get into the kind of hidden world of all these movies and unpack the plots of them all.
Yeah, dude, we should do an anthology style comic of 2 to 3 pages for each movie.
Have guest artists and writers come in and do little short stories for them all.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Although I do like that you had the little monologue from Pervert Bigfoot here in the little preview.
Dude, I definitely want to draw that scene. The monologue that she's describing. I'm just God, I just need a day. I just need a day, and then I can draw that scene.
For anyone who can't read the little the speech bones here, or word bones, what happens in this scene that Mira's describing from Pervert Bigfoot is the Pervert Bigfoot catches this camper, and she kind of shunts arm right up the camper's backside, and it comes out his mouth, and obviously he's very dead by this point. He's operating this dead camper like a marionette puppet. And he's trying to kind of convince the camper's girlfriend, to come to her death, to trap her. So he's don't leave me, Lydia, I love you, operating it. And obviously, Lydia sees through this clever ruse because her boyfriend's never told her she loves her before. So she's something wrong here. So, and Mira's argument, actually, this shows this is a very feminist picture for its time.
It's a great scene. Why I included it. So this is from issue 2, folks.
Yeah.
We didn't include too many slides from issue 2. We don't want to spoil it for you guys. We want you to enjoy and experience it. But I got a big kick out of this. Speaks to the strength of the writing. Just a whole lot of humor in this one.
Yes.
I legit was it this, or I think it was issue 3. What was the line? You had me snorting. I don't know how often that happens. I think it was early on in issue 3. Anyways, folks, what I'm trying to get at is this shit is funny. This shit is funny. This is good. You need to check it out, man. And then I think Joe had a comment here. I'd love to get T-shirts from Vault
for all the movies.
So there is a T-shirt on Vault site for of Ennis from the cover, and it just says I think the nasty on it. But I think he was asking if we were going to make T-shirts from the posters.
The posters, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a plan for that, but we could put together some bootleg shirts. Sell them out of our trunk.
Or-
Yeah.
Sell them out the back of a van at one of the conventions.
Yeah.
I'm in it for Death Cabbage, man. You let me know when
Yeah.
that bad boy. And
I think that was like the first. That might have been the first poster I drew was Death Cabbage because it was just.
Okay.
It was just immediate. It was just like I read the title and I was like, oh, I know what this looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would totally wear a T-shirt of Death Cabbage. To be honest, like, I wish I'd put it in my contract, like, you know, stipulating like every single time we get a T-shirt, I demand to have a copy of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You gotta have it. What's Richard saying here? He's saying takes me back to being in my local
Off license is a UK term.
Yeah, he's over on that side.
Got it.
Yeah, like, you know, like obviously, like, you know, because here in the UK, like, you know, when the video boom first hit, it was lots of like small businesses and like, you know, like the equivalent of like mom and pop stores, like that opened up these like, you know, video shops, you know, and because like before this was like pre-Blockbuster or like Global Video was like the big brand in Scotland, this was like all very like small businesses, so like their tastes were very individual. So like, you know, people were curating like their own like specific like tastes. So like my local video shop was very horror oriented, like because that just had to be the personal taste of the person that had the shop. So I just assumed like Maniac Cop was the biggest film to hit like America that year just because it was so prominently displayed in my local video shop.
George Biggs here agreeing. Pervert Bigfoot. Backstory was ridiculously good.
Yes.
Agreed.
Actually, over my cheap plug, but over my Patreon, patreon.com/John Lees, I do a short story every month, and this month's short story, which George read because he's a patron, was me like doing like a fake like novelization of Pervert Bigfoot. So if you want to read that, you can check it out.
I gotta sign up, man. What was that, John? You said that your Patreon?
Yeah, patreon.com/John Lees.
Folks, we're gonna add that link in the description of the video after we air. And you know what? We've got. I teased a secret guest.
Beautiful acting.
Very happy to have back on the show once again, Mr. Kurt Michael Russell.
Look at him. Hey.
Oh, what am I coloring, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, we're just talking. Okay. All right.
Draw the screen.
The nasty, and you're doing a damn good job of it. Kurt,
Yes.
Kurt, welcome back, my man. How you been?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. I see the
Nice.
beard is coming back with a vengeance.
It is slowly
Yeah.
but surely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming back. Definitely coming back.
I like to say, Kurt's got the meanest beard down. So
No,
one of the
I'm
meanest
just
beards I've
checking all this magnificent facial plumage, you know, amongst like the rest of the creative team. I'm feeling a bit like
But now that Adam and Kurt are Sam, I feel like you might got some competition there, buddy. I mean,
All right. Well, I got him beat today, but check back tomorrow. His
Give me a
full
week.
length again.
Give me a week.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
and it all just comes out. Like,
man, you're putting me to shame here, guys, gentlemen. You're making me look bad. No, Kurt, what's going on, my man? How you been?
hey, I'm good. Just happy to be here. And nice to chat with all you guys.
Excited to have. We got like pretty much the whole team of the nasty. We're just missing
Jim.
Jim Campbell,
Right.
letter.
Yes.
I'd be remiss not to mention this, guys. Jim really does some great stuff with the letter.
Yeah.
Really, like super impressed. Like from page 1. Let me see if I got some more slides here. But I mean, so you guys got, you know, it's no surprise the book is doing so well. You guys, you know, got a great team.
Yeah, no, I feel really fortunate to have all these talented people surrounding me.
So let me see. I mean, we've got some, and Kurt, I should mention, or you can, you're jumping on issue 3, correct?
Issue 3. Yep.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And you know what? I just saw you sent me a few things.
It's fine.
I didn't get to it in time, folks. But what we can say about issue number 3, which features
It's really good.
yes. Oh well, Keisha. I mean,
It's
you have
really
the chance to check
good.
it out as well. Non-spoilerish. And any?
No, I'm terrible at giving summaries without spoilers.
Oh, you're one of those people on Twitter that goes like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you're a fan
But
of
everybody
this
dies.
You know
character,
what? I don't
you
even
might be
give
sad.
that
You know,
preface.
it's
I don't even give that preface. It's just I'm saying it. But I really enjoyed it. Like all 3 issues were absolutely great. Like absolutely great. I'm actually like now I have to wait for issue number 4.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I
going
know.
to be June. No, wait. That's going to be like July? Issue 4 is July?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a minute. It's a minute.
Wow. But I feel like, listen, we got you gentlemen on the show. I mean, the DMs are open once issue number 4 is ready. We're not gonna, we wouldn't be mad. We wouldn't be mad. That really peak. And
as long as the Vault Snipers aren't taking me out, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Doug Colors, not to be mistaken with Kurt. Colors with Kurt. I feel like Kurt is like Tim Allen.
See, there's Doug has the correct spelling of colours there.
That is true. That is true.
Where is he from?
He's from the other side, Kurt.
Yeah, he's my side.
He's from the world.
We don't need your you, man. We
We don't need the you. Stop slowing us down.
We're independent, damn it.
How would you gentlemen feel about playing a little game of what kind of nerd are you?
Are there cash prizes?
Only if
That-
there's cash prizes.
Keisha, how's your cash flow these days?
I'm a pass to my
The only
girlfriend.
prize we need is the prize of glory of victory.
Right.
I'll say this to anybody who answers, and because there are right answers, folks. Anybody who answers the questions correctly, you get a crisp internet high five. The crispest.
The best kind of high five.
Yeah.
No contact.
No, one of those Demolition Man.
Yeah.
That's my high five. I do that to everybody. Yeah, we do that.
I think
Pandemic
you just
time.
exposed what kind of nerd you were by pulling out a Demolition Man reference. I think you just won the game.
This is the house in there. This is what we do. Uber, I mean, full pride here. Pandemic hit, and me. Everybody was looking at me like, what's wrong with this guy?
Tell them about the 3 clamshells.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I've emailed.
Do you know, I don't want to go into it, but there is people have like drawn like graphs, like showing how the 3 seashells work.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll share them with you afterwards, Adam.
Let us in, close in, because I kind of need to know now. I mean,
I think it's like you use 2 as like a pincer, then you have like 1 as like a scoop.
Oh, terrible.
See?
Terrible. All right, now you play your game.
Sounds painful. Yeah. Oh, look at that! I forgot to put the banner there. I had a banner for you, Kurt. Apologies.
Hey, better late than never, It's the thought that counts.
Folks, let's play. It's been a while since we've played this game. Pretty straightforward. We're just trying to get into the psyche of our guests. And for you folks at home who are watching, either live or on the replay, please feel free to play along.
Let's just stay out of John's psyche. That's the one I'm the most concerned about.
I'm an open book, Kurt. Like I always say, horror writers are the most emotionally healthy of all. It's the people that write
Everything's out. Everything is out. Yeah.
They're the ones you got to watch out for.
We're trying to win.
It's Kurt. I'm
projecting here. Okay? I'm just projecting.
So I'm gonna actually. You know what? I did not load all of these slides. Who wants to stall while I just do a little bit of background stuff? Talk amongst yourself, folks. For what?
About the Yankees?
live television, as you say.
Okay, well, I want to ask because I love retellings, and I read that you did a retelling of Macbeth.
Oh yeah. I get my favorite things to talk about myself. Yeah. So yeah, like my before the nasty, my last big project was the Crimson Cage, which is a retelling of William Shakespeare's Macbeth set against the backdrop of 1980s pro wrestling. Oh, I think that's the song's done. But yeah, no, it's available. It came out for AW Studios, and the collection's available now at all good comic shops and Amazon. So check it out.
You said all good comic shops. I love that.
Yeah, all the good ones.
Yeah, all good comic shops. If the comic shops suck,
If they know what's good for them.
Yeah,
Right.
all the comic shops appreciate my genius. I'm in stock.
So
That's
this,
pretty
this is what happens. I should have done this before we went live, so they're gonna pop up, and then I'll just man, this is what happens.
Live life on the edge. That's what you should be doing.
Live life on the edge, yes. And I've got the first couple here, and then so these are gonna be out of order, but we can start it off here, folks. What kind of nerd are you? Here we go.
That was some top-notch production values there.
Right.
The nasty edition. The nasty edition, folks. I'm gonna ask a couple questions again, just trying to figure out what exactly how the mind is working for our guests and folks. Please feel free to play along. Now I had them in a particular order. They're gonna be out of order, but this is how it goes. This is how it goes.
It's live.
Here's the first one, folks. Here's the first. Yes, that was very loud. Wasn't it?
It was loud, man.
Apologies. Here we go. Boom. So it's 1994. Much like the setting, the time period of the nasty, you're at the Blockbuster. Which horror flick are you picking up? So we've got a couple options here, folks. Some I'd like to think, in my opinion, anyways, classics from the year '94. We got In the Mouth of Madness. We've got Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and we've got Cemetery Man. So I mean, why don't we start at the top here with Adam, '94 Blockbuster. Take me back. What are you grabbing?
Man, I'm just gonna guess here. I've seen none of these movies. I mean, Cemetery Man. He sounds like a nice guy, right? He's got a job. He does things.
Rupert Everett, he was in My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah,
not bad.
So Adam, you're going Cemetery Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quality film.
Okay.
One of my faves.
I dig it. John.
Okay, well, this is quite funny because literally it's canon. There's a picture I think I've shared it online of me and my cousin James. We're both very young. I would have been about maybe 7, 8 years old. James is a bit older, and we're sitting there like in our matching like Sonic the Hedgehog like pajamas. And and not just this would have been when you were younger, because this was before like New Nightmare. This would have been Freddy's Dead, so maybe 6 and 8 respectively, a couple of years earlier. And we're matching Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas, and we're sitting, and there's a big poster of Freddy's Dead in the wall. And so I remember when New Nightmare came out, this was like a big deal for us. Like, oh my god, like there's a new Freddy movie. So yeah, this was a day one rental for me at the time. So, and I loved it. Still love it. I watched it recently. It's still great. So yeah, it would be New Nightmare for me. But having said that, I did around the same time, maybe a year or two later, by the time I made its way to TV, I did watch In the Mouth of Madness on TV, and it was like one of my great formative experiences. That movie opened my third eye, So I think I can. It's one of my biggest influences in my own work. So yeah, I would say New Nightmare is what I would have been watching in 1994, but special mention to In the Mouth of Madness as well, because that's great.
Okay, so there you have it, folks. New Nightmare, but a special mention to In the Mouth of Madness. A great flick. Kurt, or excuse me, Keisha. Keisha's next. Apologies.
Oh,
I meant to skip over you. That's so
in
rude.
1994, Keisha was not picking any of those.
Yep. High five.
Right? Keisha wasn't picking a single one because there was a time where it was like, I can read horror, but watching it was too much.
Yeah, same.
But my very first horror comedy was Freddy versus Jason, so I guess New Nightmare.
Okay, New Nightmare. You're going New Nightmare. Freddy versus Jason. Okay, all right. Kurt.
Man, I was 14, I guess, in 1994, and my mom, if I had brought any of these to her, would have told me to go pray or something. I would not have been coming home. I got to say though about that time period, before the internet, kids didn't have access to the images that were on the cover of those movies. Like unless you were buying magazines or unless you were like looking for them. So just the covers of some of these horror movies from back then, I remember thinking that like, I'm going to get in trouble looking at this. Like, see this. Like, I may have been a little sheltered, but no, like, that was something I thought about watching this. Is like back then it was like, it really felt just cool to see these creepy images that like, we take for granted that we can look up anything we want to look up now. That was not an option back then. But what I would pick, probably the middle one, because I actually haven't seen any of these either. But I've heard everybody.
All right.
I very much recommend. They're good movies.
So if I'm not mistaken, I'm keeping track. We got 3 for New Nightmare. Seems to be the popular.
Yes,
Adam's going with Cemetery Man.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I will have to say though, like if for any fans of New Nightmare, there's a scene at the start of issue 4 where I actually sent to Adam, I was like, watch this scene from New Nightmare and like make that your reference point for what happens in this.
That's pretty funny. Look at that. Coincidence, folks. And then we got Joe. He's saying he's going with Mouth of Madness. I'm gonna have to agree.
Great movie.
Great flick.
Yeah. And if you've not seen In the Mouth of Madness, it's like one of John Carpenter's most underrated movies. Really good.
Absolutely. But I also get the New Nightmare was a big deal, right? Because we hadn't gotten a Freddy movie at that point for quite a few years, I think. So.
Couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, all right. So follow up to that. You've got your movie now. What is your go-to movie snack?
Dude, popcorn, man. Popcorn.
Adam knew right away. Popcorn. All
The
right.
rest are garbage.
I'm gonna ask you, Adam, butter or no butter?
Oh, extra butter.
Extra butter. I love it.
You gotta cut it in half, right? They gotta first scoop.
When you go to the theater,
soak
you
it
ask
in
for a
butter.
separate container so you can empty some of your popcorn and put more butter on, and then put the popcorn back on and put more butter on.
He's a pro.
Oh.
Yeah, like my local video shop, when I was a kid, had a popcorn machine. You could get your video shop and you could get some popcorn to take home with you. So I remember that. If I'm at the cinema, popcorn is my go-to snack. If I'm at home, I'll maybe go for I was going to say crisps. I know they call them chips in America. Because I always think popcorn's not the same unless like you're having it at the cinema, like when it's warm and it's. But yeah, so that'd be me.
Okay, so popcorn, but if you're at home.
Yeah.
Chips.
Yeah.
Or crisps.
Yeah.
Call them. Okay. Keisha. Hear me.
Popcorn. I'm with Adam. We're gonna cut it. They're gonna stop halfway. They're gonna soak it in the movie butter. Then they're gonna dump the rest on top and then put more butter on top of that.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Popcorn seems to be the popular one. We got George. He's going popcorn. Joey is saying popcorn, but peanut M&M a close second. All right. Kurt.
I really don't see my concession stand go-to up here. So I'm just going to tell you, it's the cookie dough bites. Okay. The cookie dough bites, that's my go-to in the theater. Popcorn's good too. I had to pick. I'll say popcorn, but cookie dough bites are my go-to. Yeah.
You know, like just in general, like big giant cookies are an underrated cinema snack.
Just two hands.
Yeah.
I remember I went to a cinema screen. There was like a festival. It was some premiere movie, and all the directors and the cast and all that, like right in the row in front of me. And I made the tactical mistake of bringing like a big bag of white popcorn. I was like, crunch. You're trying to eat slowly, and it makes it worse.
And
So a nice silent cookie that you can munch on, it's good.
So for our American friends, someone was saying, you guys don't get Sour Patch Kids in the States? Is that true?
We do.
You guys
we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
My wife loves them.
Okay.
That's our go-to.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who was telling me.
We have like
But they're called
varieties
but
of
they're
this.
called crisps.
Okay. Ruben, thanks for joining us, buddy. He's going with gummies.
What kind? What kind?
That's
What's in your gummies, dude?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Because I'll take some of those too.
Adam asking the real questions here. I gotta say I'm a little disappointed nobody went with a little Eminem actions. Gotta love
Too hot,
Eminem.
man. You don't need her.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think she's too hot. Like, it's too hot.
It's the movies. You're alone in the dark. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of fitting. Our next question, folks. Red Ennis forces you to have one of these posters in your room for the rest of your life. Which one is it gonna be? Adam, my man.
That's tough, dude. Honestly, just from design standpoint, Evil Dead and the first Nightmare are fucking phenomenal posters, man. I'll probably go with Evil Dead. They're just both great. I picked one of those two.
Okay.
I think they're just gorgeous posters.
Classics, I'd like to think, yeah.
Yeah, Evil Dead's like the platonic ideal of a movie poster. That's on my all-time.
Yeah, that's such a good one.
Yeah. No, so I would Red Ennis wouldn't need it to force me. I would willingly put Evil Dead poster on the wall.
Keisha, you got a favorite? What's going up on the bedroom wall there?
So I probably choose Shirley Jackson, House on Haunted Hill. I had to make sure I was like, I know I've seen that book before. I've read it. So yes, I'm going to do it because it's book related.
I love the answer. And Kurt, what are we going with, bud?
I got to go with Evil Dead here. Like from a design standpoint, I think it's the best poster. It's just clean and clear, and my wife wouldn't be happy with any of these, but.
And you know what? Evil Dead seems again. Look at that. We got Evil Dead. Yeah. George going with Evil Dead. I'm going. Honestly,
I feel like we're vibing with like the audience here. I think we've got like similar tastes.
Yep. It's just something about it. I mean, maybe you guys can talk about being artist creators. What makes it such a classic? I mean, like you think about horror movie posters. This is like, I think a lot of folks, one of the first ones that come to mind. What makes it so great?
I think it's definable from a distance. Like you don't like the House on Haunted Hill, and even the Friday and even Nightmare. Like you have to kind of get into it to see what's happening. But Evil Dead, you can see that walking by on the street. Like if that's in front of a theater, you know what's happening. Like that's horrific, and it's all on that slant, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually two slants happening with the text and the horizon. But then the hand reaching up being perpendicular to that, it creates this kind of triangle down to the title. And it's just terrifying. I mean, she's half buried and there's a hand with her. It's perfect.
It's great. Yeah.
Big simple shapes. Big simple shapes.
Yeah.
Like that's and any good artist is working with big simple shapes. Like even the things that seem complicated, you can break them down into simple shapes. And so like with this, like you said, it's so stark in that like what if I'm coloring something, and then we're getting into the weeds a little bit here, but the simplicity of the background is what makes it. You know, it's like if it was covered in details or there was a bunch of other people there was something else going on, like, you know, it would weaken it, you know.
Yeah.
But having that clean, simple background, it means that the focal point just flies out of it. You know, there's nothing else like her on that cover. You know, nothing. You know.
Yeah.
Pops. I love it. We got more fans. Amanda saying it feels minimalist and it's simple and effective.
Absolutely.
So clean. You know, hey, look, we got a question here from James Phelps. Mr. Lees, has the writers' strike affected you at all?
Well, I'm like, comic writers aren't part of like the Writers Guild of America, so it's not really affected me like directly. Like, it's mainly like film and TV writing. But obviously, like, I'm really supportive of like everything that they're going for. I think like that everything they're asking for is totally like reasonable, not just reasonable, but it should be essential. So I'm hoping that they win. So solidarity.
There you have it. Hope that answered your question. Back to what kind of nerd are you? And we got the next one coming up here. I gotta pull out. There we go. So which group is best equipped to help you survive the wrath of Freddy and Jason? Very curious to hear everybody's answers on this one here. I don't know enough for you, bud.
Yeah, I gotta go Stranger Things just because of 11. The kids from Monster Squad, they're just kids. But 11 has, you know, kinetic powers. So I'm gonna go with Stranger Things.
Adam, I got a bit of a follow up here. We're talking about Stranger Things Kids season 4 or season 1? Because I think that's key.
Oh, come on.
I'm like,
yeah, I go with any of them. I'll take them all.
Doesn't matter which. Okay.
Also, they're just better actors. So.
See, like, you know, like when this question was kind of coming up, the text was kind of coming along slowly. When it said which group is best, I was ready to just jump out on Monster Squad, of course, because like I love my Monster Squad gang. Like, Monster Squad is one of like my big formative movies. Like one of my first movies that made me love horror. So like that was gonna be my pick all the way. But then when the actual question came up and it's like, is best equipped to help you survive the wrath of Freddy and Jason? If it's an actual fight, then like, you know, I'm gonna have to choose the Stranger Things kids originally, because like Jason already has like a canonically established weakness to telekinetic teenagers. So like the one time he got thrown like a ragdoll with his ass kicked was in part 7 when they had the telekinetic kids. So yeah, 11's like best equipped to save the day in that film.
See, John, really, man, you hit deep dive there.
It's like he's a nerd or
hitting us
something.
with the logic.
What kind of nerd are you?
Like he's a huge ass nerd or something. I mean,
Kurt, what are we talking about here? We going with the classic Monster Squad, or?
I'll be honest. Until someone said it, I didn't know what the thing on the left was.
We're going to see Bleeding Cool announced tomorrow. Kurt Russell has departed from the nasty.
Yeah, so, like I said, my answer is a little skewed because of that. But yeah, no, I guess I would go with girls that can throw things with her mind, like over anybody else, pretty much.
Okay.
I got homework to do, I guess, too, after this. Sorry.
Okay. Keisha, what are you talking about?
Okay, so as a disclaimer, if anything was chasing me, any kind of dystopian society, I'm already like calling it in. I'm not gonna fight. But
yes, yeah, I'm the same way. Anytime someone says, "What would you do in a zombie apocalypse?" I'm like,
nothing.
I just throwing a ball and waiting for the sweet release
I'm
of
not
death.
useful. Me and my husband was talking about, like, this is a whole random tangent, but I live out in like the middle of the country, and he's like, yo, do you see these birds? Do you see the falcon, the eagle? And I'm like, dude, I see nothing. If things were to go bad, I am useless out here. But Stranger Things.
So you're heavily relying on the team here. So yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Man, look at that.
Emotional support. She's emotional support. You know, she's like high five.
Right.
You can do it.
Yes. I got them.
A clean sweep for the Stranger Things team. A little surprised, to be honest. You know, I included the Monster Squad here. I mentioned it when we first reviewed issue number 1. I got a little bit of Monster Squadish
For sure.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
big
agree?
influence, yeah. Oh, here's a question. I'm going to throw a question back to you. Like just here, when we're talking about like the group, does the group from Monster Squad include Frankenstein?
You know, I would have to say
not on the poster. Not on the poster.
he's cropped off, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. I would have to say, yeah, because you know, by the end of Monster Squad, for those who've watched it, you know, man, he's a full-fledged member of the team. So I'd have to say, yeah, you know, we're including Frankenstein.
Yeah. So Frankie could maybe take it to Jason. You know, some fighting.
You know, I might be the longest answer, but I'm going Monster Squad here, guys. I mean, it's a classic. I love it. You know, childhood stuff here.
Yeah.
We got the next question here. Here we go. This was my follow-up. That was a bit of a trick question.
I mean, Goonies is good as well, but like you know, as an avid Monster Squad kid, I was Team Monster Squad over the Goonies.
Dude, I gotta go Goonies because that's my heart, man. Those kids,
Yeah, Goonies is my
those
jam
kids
too.
every time.
I wanted to be a Goonies so bad when I was a kid.
Oh.
I still want to be a Goonies, to be honest. But I like how Adam switched up his answer. I said as soon as you jumped on the stream, I said, here's a man of taste. I knew it. I mean, yes. I kind of, I threw you guys one for a loop. Yeah, the correct answer is the Goonies, guys. This is the team that's gonna, we're in a zombie apocalypse. You got Freddy, Jason, Chase. You want these guys behind your back, man. You want them on your team.
Goonies never die.
Goonies never die, absolutely.
That's why they win. Yeah.
We got some more folks switching up there. Absolutely, Goonies, man. Here, let me pull up the next one here. Boom, 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 boom. No, that is not the one. That is not the one. Here we go. So you're tasked to put together your very own murder club. For those who are familiar with the book, we've got the Nasty features a murder club of their own. And they're tasked, with remaking a horror film. So you're tasked. You gentlemen are tasked. You can only to make the ultimate horror flick. Which directors are you choosing? Now, this is a little bit different. We got 4 directors here. 3 of them can make the team. One's not making the cut.
We picked 3 out of 4.
3 out of the 4, yes, sir.
Oh, the top row. Del Toro's would be number 1. I know he's not just a horror guy, but he's one of my favorite directors. So I'd go Del Toro, and then is that Romero is number 2?
George Romero.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Romero and Craven. Yeah, I'd go those 3.
Solid. You can't go wrong. John, who you rocking?
That's a tough question. See, I think it's difficult. I'm thinking, I've never seen this 2 series. I'm thinking, would I really want 3 directors? The visions might be clashing with each other. Maybe it's just but I'm a big fan of all 4. Obviously, Del Toro's great. Romero's great. John Carpenter's maybe my favorite of all of them in terms of the movies he's done. And Halloween's obviously one of my all-time favorite movies. But every time, you talk to, you interviews with John Carpenter, these days, he's like, I don't know if you like making movies anymore. I just want to play video games and smoke pot. So, maybe I'll just leave him to it. Don't want to make him do something against his will. So I'll be diplomatic and choose the other 3. Actually, I'm going to go back on that. Guillermo del Toro is an award-winning, Oscar-winning filmmaker. Obviously he's he can do anything that he wants these days. George Romero and Wes Craven are both sadly no longer with us, and John Carpenter's retired. So I'm going to choose those 3 just so we can get another movie from each of them.
The Resurrection.
I like that. That's a great answer. Kurt, You're tasked with the ultimate horror film. You gotta choose wisely with this one.
I'm a big Del Toro guy for sure. I think, like visually, I think he's probably has the strongest visual composition skills. Like he's an artist, he draws, like he storyboards all this stuff out. So like I love what he does in general. I out of the movies they've made, I would probably go with Romero and Carpenter for the others because I don't know, like the Scream series had some decent movies, and but I was never a big like Freddy guy or anything. So but yeah, that's what I would go with.
Okay.
But don't forget the people who live on the stairs. People on the stairs. I love that movie. That's one of my Wes Craven favorites.
Oh man, a classic. That was crazy. That ruined me as a kid.
Yeah,
I watched that way too early, way too young. Okay, Keisha, who you rocking with?
Based off of what everybody said, because like I said, horror movies, watching it is still too much. But Del Toro, I'll stick with that.
Del Toro's great. Del Toro's great. Have you guys? What did you guys think of his recent Netflix anthology? Did you guys?
I haven't seen it yet.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haven't watched it, Adam?
No.
Okay, some gems in there, I think. Some good. It was all right.
I definitely want to. My daughter is too aware of the TV, and so I have to be really specific with what I watch when she's around.
Hit or
So
miss.
I haven't pulled that one up yet.
Yeah, hit or miss.
I would agree with yeah. It was like half of them were really great, and then the other half, I'd say not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
I'm glad they put it out though. I like that kind of stuff. Like put all the little weird movies. Put all that stuff out. I love it.
And Joe Pocket, he's going off the board here. He's saying Peter Jackson with a very limited budget.
Do you know, like, I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan, love Lord of the Rings, but even having said that, like, I want Peter Jackson's next movie to be like some like grimy 90-minute low budget horror movie like Bad Taste or Brain Dead, like, you know, get back to his roots. I'd love to see that.
yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, John, you were a little part of the discourse. It was a few weeks back on the socials on Twitter, folks.
It's always like, but all the times I try and share like stuff about my comics and stuff, that's never the stuff of mine that goes viral. It's always like some stupid thing that tweet that people start sharing.
Oh my goodness, it was crazy. I made such an innocent. I said, hey, you know, I rewatched The Rings of Power. You know, I thought it was great. You know, slow burn. I enjoyed it, and the thing blew up like.
No,
it was crazy.
People have like intense feelings about this. It's one that's not since The Last Jedi has there been like, you know, something where you just happen to tweet like, you know, oh, I like this, and there's folk that are looking for mentions of it, ready to go, you know, how dare you say that you like this thing?
What did you say? I didn't see it. What did you say?
I just said I rewatched Rings of Power and it was really good, and folk got furious about this.
That's it. That was the tweet.
Like, you know, like, and people like, what is Amazon paying you? You're in Bezos' pocket, like, you know, or like, you know, you're a woke SJW, like, you know, saboteur, you know, like, you know, it's like, you know, like, just from saying this innocuous comment about liking the show.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, I had some folks just like, you know, wishing my firstborn, like, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Like, and I took it with a grain of salt. I thought it was fairly amusing. There was some funny. There were some dingers there, but I mean,
no. So there was a folk that were really nasty, like about you seeing me like this.
Oh man, it's crazy. I think we've got. We might have one more question here or two. What do we got
So
here?
we're talking about off the board directors. I would have put Sam Raimi in there as well.
I'm sorry.
I said if we're talking about off the board directors, I would have put Sam Raimi in there as well.
Oh, Sam Raimi's cool. Yeah, that is not.
I've always wanted to see, and he'll never do it, but I've always wanted to see a David Fincher horror movie. Like,
Oh, yeah.
take like,
Great.
take what he did in Seven and just push it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to.
For me, like that scene in Zodiac, when it's like the broad daylight killing, and it's like you just see the guy walking from the distance towards them. That's like terrifying. I think
I've probably seen Zodiac about 12 times. Like, it's one of my favorite movies for that. It's just
that's his masterpiece for me. I agree.
I just rewatched Seven just the other night, man, and that's like that's an all timer for me.
Yeah,
all timer. And the ending, it always gets me. It always gets me. I'm always still surprised.
Do you forget what's in the box? Do you forget?
I do. I think I do.
You're like, oh no!
Oh man. I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just trying to.
Are you going backwards, or is every correct answer The Goonies? Favorite director, The Goonies.
I'm trying to drill that in your head, guys.
What are you eating when you're watching movies at the video shop?
The Goonies.
Here we go. This is the final question.
Candy.
Dude,
Planes, Trains.
Uncle Buck is like one of my all-time favorite movies. That's the winner for me.
You're a good man. You're a good man, John. So I heard through the grapevine that you're something of a John Candy fan, and me being a Canuck. Not only that, I love John Candy, an all-timer of a comedian. I love his films.
Yeah.
So I said, let me put it to you, Jen. So you answered fairly quick. Immediately there, you're going with Uncle Buck, John. Adam.
Yeah. I go Planes, Trains because it's also got Steve Martin, and I'll take the two of them any day.
Planes, okay.
Planes, Trains is great as well. Don't get me wrong. Like anything with John Candy, they'll put on like anything with him. Cool Runnings, like I'll watch anything that he's in. But
that was gonna be my answer.
Cool Runnings.
But yeah, no, like Uncle Buck's my favorite.
Dude, he had that cameo in was it Home Alone?
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about.
And I think that's all him. Like I think that's all. I think his.
They didn't write anything. They didn't write anything for that scene.
Yeah.
The polka king of the Midwest.
Yeah.
Polka.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. He's great. He's a great man. Kurt, which flick you going with, buddy?
Uncle Buck was good. Yeah, I got to go with that one.
Yeah, Buck is a gem, man. I love it. So many, just great scenes. I mean, it's a great film, but individual scenes, man, just classics. I love that one with him and a young Culkin. He's making the omelet and asking the questions and stuff.
Well, what's the one when he's the vice principal and he's like, take this quarter and go downtown and have a rat and all that thing off your face.
Oh, true. Yeah, have a rat.
But for me, like, it's not obviously that's the big line everyone remembers. And for me, it's like the bit like that I think is quite sweet. Is like when the principal's like your niece is a silly heart, like and doesn't take her academics studies seriously. And he's like, I don't want to know a 6-year-old that's not a silly heart. I think that's really sweet.
Just it's a John Hughes film, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
John Hughes.
Yeah. Keisha. Kurt, did I?
Yeah, Uncle Buck.
Oh, Uncle Buck. Okay. Keisha.
Keisha was going to go Cool Runnings, I think.
Yes, it was Cool Runnings. Final answer.
It's a great film. Anything you can't. Honestly,
Yeah.
Myself, folks, I'm going to go with Uncle Buck. And please, for the love of God, if you guys have not watched it, as soon as this show is done, go and check it out.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix, or it was, but seek it out.
Brewster's Millions, man.
Oh yeah.
With Pryor. Oh,
yeah.
That movie was great.
Yeah, I mean, two legends right there, right? I mean,
yeah,
can't go wrong. And I think that just about does it. Let me.
The answer will be Goonies.
Answer movie.
Favorite John Candy, the Goonies.
Let's.
Wait, was he Sloth?
Could have been.
Can you imagine? I thought I had. Here we go. Apologies, folks. That's all. Thanks for playing. What kind of nerd are you? The Nasty Edition. I hope for the folks watching at home, you got a little into the psyche of these great creators here. Some surprising answers. I gotta say. But all gentlemen, and Keisha with great, fantastic taste here. I love it. Before we get out of here, I do want to get back to the nasty a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Back to the nasty. In particular with Adam, I just want to. So how was it? And with Kurt, how was it coming into a series with an already established, world, character design, things like that, challenges or anything of that nature, or can you just?
Sure. Yeah. So it honestly, the first book I did is issue 3, and it took. I didn't really have time because sort of all the runway of the publication dates was burnt up, and so I had to kind of just go. Like I didn't really spend time developing the characters, because I mean they already existed. So I just started drawing them fresh, like out the gate. And so my issue 3, it takes me a minute, I think, to get real warmed up and get real kind of into the world. And then I think, the next issue 4, I think it's evident to me that I'm starting to figure it out. Like it's starting to make sense, like sort of George's world plus how I would do it is starting to mesh, I think, a lot better. And then I'm towards the end of issue 5 right now, and it's some of my favorite stuff. But it definitely there was sort of an onboarding process to it and trying to figure out, because I wanted to sort of feel like George's world, so that the readers who go from issue 2 to issue 3, at least understand who the characters are, and it's not too abrupt. You're not going from like Jim Lee to Jay Lee. It's not too radical of a shift aesthetically. So it definitely took a minute to kind of work out the kinks of that world, for sure.
Yeah,
I
it
think
really
that's
isn't.
underselling how good his stuff is on issue 3, because there's so much fantastic stuff he does in issue 3. But I do get what he means, that as good as issue 3 is, issue 4 is even better. And I think a part of it is like, you can see that transition, like, with issue 3, like, he's doing his own stuff, but also like, paying respect to what George did and keeping that consistency. But issue 4 is like, there's like, more of like, now this is more of like my style and this is more like me. And then like, I can definitely see that transition. But having said that, I still think his stuff in issue 3 is incredible.
Well, thank you. You too, John.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah. So we had a peek at issue number 3, and I'll say to your credit, Adam. I mean, it wasn't jarring. A lot of times you have a change in artist, and it's the styles they don't mesh at all. So I mean, it was cool that it still felt like this world that we got.
Well, thank you.
In the first 2 issues, I mean, I can imagine it's a challenge, right? To kind of jump in midship, but then and so it sounds like issue 4 is the one to kind of you really found your groove, and
I think so. Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
The pages are,
I can't
like
wait.
the pages are, I'm kicking them out a little bit faster because I'm starting to like, I'm not trying to like reform the muscles anymore. Like it's all just starting to work out.
Oh, yes, he's back.
Sorry,
Kurt.
the computer just went. It just completely turned off. I don't know what happened.
The game was over. He said, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
That's it.
Actually, guys, I actually have to go to work.
There you go.
I'm a bit. I need to get out the door here.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Sorry. But
Adam, thank you so much for
dude, thank you so
joining
much
us,
for
and
having me on the show. Yeah.
We'd
It
love
was
to have
nice
you
to
back.
meet both you guys.
Anytime you like.
Nice to meet you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Later.
Bye, guys.
There you go, folks. There's Adam Cahoon.
Now that he's gone, we can trash talk him. It's good. Hate that guy.
Line artist. Who needs him?
It's one of the worst. I couldn't believe some of his choices in that. No,
I
it's
mean,
good.
the unis, come on.
And Kurt, so we were talking about, Adam came on issue 3. You came on issue 3 as well. How's that been? What's that been like?
Oh, it's been really fun. It's been really cool. John had the best thing to say right at the beginning, which was, make it your own. And that was more important than do what the last guy did, and of course the colors were great in the first 2 issues. But that's something when I come into a new project, and I've done this a time or 2 before, I always struggle with the ones that come in there like, do this. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I can, but no, like it's been really great to make sure that transition, like you said, is not jarring, that it's close stylistic wise, but it doesn't have to, mirror every little stylistic choice, and so it's been really fun, and Adam's art is amazing, and so yeah, having a good time.
I definitely agree with Kurt's point. I mean, my thinking was that at any point, if there's a choice between being consistent with what came before or doing what you think would be best, I'd go for the latter option. And for me, I think consistency isn't make sure you match the minutia of what the previous artist did. For me, it's you should try and capture the key emotions of the story. They did it their way, and I want you to go for that same goal in your way, to achieve the same ends using your own techniques. And for me, that produces the better results.
How it feels. I mean, honestly, that if it feels similar, I mean, I don't think anyone is looking into this. I joke around with my audience all the the colorists that follow me, and I have a lot of beginner colorists I work with, and they almost get a little too obsessed with, like you said, that consistency doesn't mean the same. It's just page to page, it should just feel like it's all one story.
It's almost an emotional thing more than
absolutely.
And I think that's important, especially with a book like The Nasty, because the emotional aspect, there's a lot of heart in this one. There's some great scenes. I think it was issue 1. We've got that page where we see, Thumper growing up. That's one
montage page. Yes, issue 1.
A great sequence there, and you guys managed to kind of really pack in a lot of story and just, those 5 or 6 panels. It's not an easy job.
That's one of the fun things of comics, though, that you can do that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great, man. So again, folks, if you haven't already, I really, sincerely encourage you guys to pick this one up, man. You're gonna enjoy it. A gem of a read. And I had one thing that I had to ask: House of Creeping Flesh. So for those who have read it, it's this horror.
Yeah, so House of Creeping Flesh is the most notorious video nasty of all. It has been banned all over the world. It's said to be cursed. People say, if you watch this movie, terrible things will happen. Yeah. And it's been so widely banned that almost nobody has even seen the movie. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what happens, stop listening now, turn it off or mute or whatever, But the gang on the Murder Club get their hands on the video of House of Creeping Flesh, and they immediately accidentally destroy the tape. And they're bringing there's a horror festival coming to their town to watch this movie, and it's going to be a disaster if the movie's not there for the show. So then they realise that this movie is widely banned. Nobody's seen this movie. So maybe they can make their own version and pass it off as the real thing, and which is where the plot goes.
Such a great premise, yes. So in the story, at least up to issue 3, we don't really know the contents of the film, The House of Creepers, and I love that.
What I will say is that look out for, and I don't feel too shy about saying this, look out for issue 5. Issue 5, you'll find out a lot more about what's going on in House of Creeping Flesh.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. That's been my favorite issues that I've written. The whole issue is essentially just the movie.
I love it. So looking forward to that. So this is a mini.
And Kurt and Adam did an amazing cover for that issue as well, I have to say.
For issue number 5?
Yeah.
That's the last image that I sent you, and I don't know if we're supposed to be showing it, but I sent it. I'm like, I'll take the blame. How'd they get in there?
And then, so you know what? I might just have to, Kurt. Share those.
That's fine. Don't worry. He'll take the heat if you.
Yeah. I'll share them on the socials with the clearly disclaimer provided. Don't get mad at us. And then here we see upcoming issue number 3. Adam's great cover there on the left, and I believe this is Francesca Fantini on the right. Is that?
Sorry?
Is that right? The artist on the right?
Is it Sally Cantarino that did the videos?
Oh, is this Sally Cantarino? Oh, okay.
Yeah. She does all B covers.
Okay. Yeah, a great cover. So folks, you have that to look forward to. How many issues are we looking at here, John?
It's actually going to be 8 issues, which I'm really excited about. Yes,
Nice.
8 issues. Does 8 issues count as a maxi series cut? I like to think it does. It sounds good. But yeah, no, it's going to be 8 issues, which I'm really excited about. I remember when I'd first pitched the series, I sent a pitch for 6 issues to Vault, and I was kind of worried about that. I was thinking 6 issues feels kind of tight. I'm having to cram a lot in here, but I don't think I'll get away with it anymore. And then when I got back the notes from the pitch, Adrian was like, it's all great. The only thing I'm not sure about is the length of the series. I'm like, oh no, he's going to cut us down to 4 issues. This is going to be a disaster. And he's like, can we make it longer? Can we make 8 issues? And I was like, yes. So I'm really happy to get to let the story unfold over a longer period. So yeah, 8 issues. It'll be coming out throughout the rest of the year. So you've got that to look forward to.
Yeah, I love hearing that. More story. The more story, the better, I think. So, John, Kurt, before we get out of here, where can the fine folks find you at? Anything else you can tell us about perhaps other works that you guys are working on, any upcoming projects, things like that?
Sure. As well as the Nasty, which is a big thing coming out this year, I have Sync coming back. Probably my most famous comic, or my most popular comic, is a series called Sync that I've been doing for several years. Volume 3 is coming back this year. We've ran a Kickstarter for the first issue that just finished recently, and the book's getting fulfilled right now. We're going to be doing another couple of Kickstarters over the summer to fund the rest of the series, and then it's going to be coming to the direct market around maybe October, November or so. We're going to be releasing Volume 3, so look out for that. And other things to look out for from me, I'm going to be at Heroes Con this coming June. I'm going to be back from my first US show in 4 years now. It was in the last since before the world ended. So yeah, now that I'm going to be there, so look out for me that show if you're attending or in the area. And other than that, you can find me on socials at John Lees 927 on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find my Patreon page, patreon.com/John Lees. And my newsletter is deepender.johnleescomics.com. That's deep-ender.johnleescomics.com. And that's everything.
I love it. And you know what? I hope one day you can make your way up to Toronto. I'd love to get this.
I would love to visit Toronto. If Toronto invite me, I will come.
Yes. Folks, if you've never checked out Hotel, the definition of creepy, atmospheric, great story, man. Are we getting a volume 3 on this bad boy?
I would love to have a volume 3. Ultimately, that's up to AWA. If enough folk we got volume 2 because of the response from readers and the demand for it. So hopefully if there's a demand for volume 3, we'll get that too. So if you want a volume 3, let AWA know. We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna start a petition, and Keisha, I gotta get you reading.
Yes, I've seen that one before. I'm gonna read it now because
I'd love to hear it. Kurt, what do you got coming up, my man?
Well, other than Nasty, of course, got what have I got right now? I've got the Nightfall double feature at Vault, the Sanitarian story. We're number 4 on that. Will be out in the next couple of months. I don't even know what the schedule is. And I'm also on End After End at Vault for another couple issues. I think that's going 10 issues, if I'm not mistaken. You can find me at K Michael Russell. Rarely on Instagram. I think social media is destroying the world. I'm just like, but no. But yeah, you can find me there. Learn.comiccolor.com is my courses, and I'm on YouTube, of course. Color with Kurt.
Yeah, you've got a great channel. I tune in when I can, and I'm not
I see you pop in.
artistic by any means, but folks, I mean, it's super. It's really, I got a kick out of just watching the process and stuff, and you make it fun, for viewers who are not inclined, artistically inclined, I guess. And then now, Kurt failed to mention.
I'll also be a thought bubble, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah,
I'm really excited about that. I've never left I've never been anywhere near there. I went to Mexico once, and then I'm going to the thought bubble. So I'm really excited.
He's in my hometown. I'll be seeing him.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited to meet. I've got it. I've been on YouTube for a long time, and I've got people watching kind of all over. And so I think, strangely, I'll probably draw more people there than like at home. Because
you're gonna have to start spelling color with a U.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool, and then hopefully, Kurt, you as well can make your way up to Toronto sometime. We got a great. We just TCAF was last weekend, which is very creator artist focused. So. You guys are gonna make your way up, and then Kurt, of course, you've got the Blue Flame trade coming out at the end of the month.
True.
Yeah, and I don't wanna spoil anything, but we may have a couple Blue Flame creators on the show later on this month, folks. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying maybe. And then just real quick, isn't Hotel getting a TV adaptation?
Actually, it's getting a film adaptation. It's been optioned for film. El Callahan's going to be writing and directing it. It's in development now. So we'll see what happens. It's very exciting.
Wow, that's great. I had
that's
heard
amazing.
That, to be honest. Yeah, man, that's so a film, eh?
Yeah, no, quite exciting. So it's all very early in the process, as far as I know. But I'm very excited to see what happens.
Well, congratulations, John. Looking forward to more news on that. Gentlemen, thank you so much again for coming through the house.
Yes.
You guys.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
I hope you had a good time, and thank you, John, for being good sports about the game,
I always love those kind of things. So.
Okay, awesome. I love to hear, hope you guys have fun with that. And then sincerely, welcome back. Anytime you guys want to talk about your books, your works, you're welcome to come on through.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday.
Bye.
Take care.
Gentlemen. All right. There you have it, folks. The nasty team.
They were great.
Awesome. Great guys. Great group of guys, man. I love it. Yes. And I tease, maybe at the end of the month, we might have one of those guests back on this show. I'm not saying who. I'm just saying, keep your eyes peeled, folks. Keisha, what's going on, man? Did you want to talk a little bit about perhaps some of your favorite readings of the week? Because I didn't have. It's been a crazy week, folks. I didn't really get to read much, to be honest. But I heard you might have read a little something.
Yeah. I only got 3 this week. I wasn't really drawn to much this week. So let's start, because I got all digitals, like I said. Everybody's sick. Let's start with the good, and that was Shazam #1.
Shazam #1? Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I've always liked him, and so I remember seeing him for the first time. It was like a Justice League episode, like years ago, right? And in that episode, all the adults were gone, and it was just him, and he had to save everybody. So I've always loved Shazam, but I've never read the comics, and this is the first one that I read before. Absolutely, yeah. It was really, really good. I think it's my first one that I've read of Donna DC. I like how they introduced everything. I know that this is off of the end of like a huge event that happened. Right? It was good. It was really, really good. This happens, Shazam #1 starts at the end of like a major event that happens. and everyone does not have the powers of Shazam. It's crazy, but like this was a great first issue. Like great.
Ruben sharing your sentiments. He's saying Shazam was great. Golden Age cap.
It was
back. Now, Keisha, I heard. I don't know if it was this. I heard something about they're kind of moving away from like the kind of the movie version where like Captain Marvel's not like childish. He's like actually.
Yeah. So they said. I remember hearing that too. It was like he's not as childish, and
Right.
what they did in this issue was, he's not as childish when he is Captain, right?
Mhm.
And he doesn't like that, and it's why he goes back to being, I'm terrible with names, but it's back when he goes back to being a kid, right?
Yeah.
Because when he's Captain, he's always hearing the voice of Solomon going, you need to eat your veggies and you need to do this and you need to do that. And, he's always like telling himself to be better and do better. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So as a kid, he doesn't have to listen to that voice anymore. I really do enjoy that. He's not as childish, but he's still a kid and he's still making kid choices. I really do enjoy that part.
I'm going to have to check this one out. I was the last Shazam ongoing I picked up was the I think it ended a couple years ago, to be honest, at this point. But I have all those issues, and I thought it was okay. I think it was written by Jeff Johns, if I'm not mistaken. Considering John's other amazing stuff he's done, maybe a little underwhelmed with that one. It was okay though. It wasn't bad. It just it didn't I wasn't like I gotta read this one when it came out, so but it sounds like it's off to like a good start, eh? Dope start.
Yeah, this one is a really good start. You start with him on like dinosaurs. The shit is hilarious. Yeah. like the first couple of pages is him on a dinosaur getting it back to his parents. Like
and Dan Moore is the artist on this one, eh?
Who is it?
Dan Mora?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like the artwork is beautiful. It is. It's just the perfect combination.
Yeah, his stuff is clean. I gotta check this one out. What else?
What else did I see?
List? Yeah.
What else? Okay, so Junk Rabbit #2. I don't know why this one, like.
Which one? Sorry.
Junk Rabbit. I think it's Image.
Junk Rabbit? Let me check. Junk Rabbit.
I don't know why. I'm reading it. I can't even honestly tell you like it's good. So like maybe it's because it's a post-apocalyptic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like certain things were done. Maybe this is the reason why I'm reading it, because certain things were done in the book that makes me a little uncomfortable, but I'm like, there has to be a point to it, and it feels like there is. So I want to get to that point. The artwork is a little I don't know.
It ain't it? It's not it?
No, it's not.
What is it? Is it like too caricature, like too cartoonish, or
yeah, so like when you go, like say you get a picture drawn of you, the caricatures, like that's how it feels, just a little bit.
Okay. I can see that.
I don't always vibe with that. Yeah, there's some choices made in this book. I don't know if I like it, but I'm still reading it.
Okay. Okay.
But it has a pretty dope premise. Like, it's a dystopian society. You have people living in a dome that like has all money, and everybody who doesn't have money lives in the wastelands, and it's about consumerism and like how we deal with waste and stuff. Like, yeah.
Okay. You know what? There's a book with kind of like a similar with similar themes that I think you would like if you're into that. It's called Don't Spit in the Wind. It's from Mad Cave Studios. The story itself, like the writing is maybe a little simplistic, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, the art, man, is incredible. It's this kind of really vibrant world that the artist and who's the writer as well has created. His name is Stefano Cardoselli. Check that one out. Similar
Okay.
themes. You might like it a little bit more than
Junkrat.
yeah. And then Ruben saying, yeah, more as a beast. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And you know what, Keisha? I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to ask you to hold down the fort for like 30 seconds. I got to run off air. Folks, this is live. This is what happens. But this is why, I've got great people coming. Keisha I know is going to hold it down. Just give me like 30 seconds. All right.
All right.
And then, feel free to talk about whatever you like here. I'll be back in 1 second.
All right, well then, shoot, we're gonna go back to Shazam because I absolutely love that one. I was not expecting that, like, at all. Like, saying that more was a beast in both. I gotta start reading more. I think the Shazam one has me more interested in the Dawn of DC. I wasn't sure that I was gonna continue with that, but I'm very much interested now in what they have to offer for the Dawn of DC. Like, so if anybody has anything else I should be reading, let me know, please. Because at this point, it looks interesting. Like, this whole new thing. Junk Rabbit, please don't say you're going to get it because of me. Not at all. It is not a recommendation. You know how there's just some comics and some books you read that is just, you don't know why you're reading them. It has your attention and you're not sure why. That's Junk Rabbit. I'm not sure why I'm reading this. I think it's my chaos book. Like every couple of months I'll read something that I should have no business reading. But here we are. What else? Yeah, like, no, I'm gonna vent about Junk Rabbit. Like, it's so weird. Like, on the first couple of panels, like in the dome, there's this guy, and like you could tell, like, all the rich people, they're doing all these body modifications and stuff. Like, there's this one guy, he's like a chimera, and half of him is white. Yeah, like, it's very okay. It is okay. It is so base. Thank you, Ruben. It is okay. It is a solid okay. Like, very okay. It's not something to like tell everybody to read. But it is okay.
Oh, look, here we go. Ruben saying I skimmed through Junk Rabbit. It was very okay. Okay. Pretty in agreement with you then.
Yeah.
In agreement
Yeah.
with you. Okay.
Not a recommendation, but just I'm reading it.
Hey, sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes that's how it be, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
Hit me. Anything else? Did you
What else? Yeah, this week was very I'm not gonna say mid. It was very middle of the ground for me. I think the last one I got was Star Signs #1 on Image.
No, I haven't really heard anything about this. So hit me. What's going on?
There's a reason for that.
Okay.
So this one, like, if you like astrology, it could possibly be good for you. And I think maybe because I'm not into astrology and not enough was explained in it. I don't know. I know that it has a wicked and divine feel to it. And I think it's like, yeah, like it has a wicked and the divine feel to it. But I'm not as invested as I was in that run. Like, okay. I got it initially because it's Saladin Ahmed, and he was the one who did Abbott in Abbott 1973.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, maybe.
Okay.
So, like, yeah. It was okay. It was very much okay. I think more should happen, or maybe I get more interested in the second issue. I try hard not to like drop things after the first issue. I maybe give it 2.
Really? You see, I'm gonna keep it 100, and for the regular folks who've been here since, like, they know I've got like a quick hook. If a book doesn't do it for me, like after one issue, like forget it. Because you know what
That's
it is?
fair.
There's so much out there that I have a tough time keeping up with things that I like. You know what I mean? So if I'm like even like so on it, I'm just like, no, I'm not even gonna bother. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of good shit out. Like I'll give you for example, Monarch #2 was our Monarch was our copper drop.
Right. Yeah.
And Rodney Barnes, he's one of my favorite writers. I love his stuff, right? But Monarch, it didn't do it for me, like, at all, And Markelin, he really he's like, give it another shot. And I said, you know what, okay, like, so I picked up #2, and then like still didn't do it for me. So I just that's why I follow my gut, man. I know something, but I mean, hey, like Markelin, I know he told me, what did he tell me the other week? He's like, oh, I'll give like a book. If I'm not so sure, I'll give it like 5 or 6. I said, my man, this guy's like, you just buy the first trade,
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I give it the first 2. There are some people who I give them the full arc. Like, I have to already love their work and trust that they can do things. Like Rodney Barnes is like, I'll give him the full arc of Monarch to like get it together, But there are a lot of people where you get maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But I get it. There is so much out there. You kind of gotta have like hard boundaries with it.
Yeah, I mean, and then just like it's a financial thing for me too, anyways. Man.
Yeah, this ain't cheap.
Yeah. Hey, and us Canadians, we get hit with the conversion to like a $4.99 book is like, I don't know, like $7, man, or something like that. It's crazy. Ruben's saying the other book I got was the new Batman, and that was the most fun I've had with a book in so long. If you know, Batman, the new Batman from the best, I think it was 135. It's one of those books that I'm really hearing like all over the place. Like some people they're like, "Oh, I loved it," and then others is like, calling it mid and this and that. So
I'm gonna be honest. I've never read Batman. I've read Robin, so I have I Am Robin.
okay,
that run with Damien. I love it. Like,
yeah,
I love that so much. I love Damien. He is crazy, but I love that little kid so much. I've never read Batman. Like,
okay. Damien seems to be like a lot of people's favorite Robin, which
oh yeah,
okay. All right.
I can see why.
Okay,
he's great.
Amanda's saying, "Oh man, I bought this because I only had one book in my pull box and I felt I needed more, but it sounds like I may have just wasted $5." I think you're referring to Star Signs there, or was it the previous one? Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I read that synopsis and I was like, that's not.
It's not.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Hopefully you like it, Amanda. You never know. Victor here asking a question. How does the house feel about the return of fellow Canadian Travis Charest and the Ambassadors' first full comic art in 24 years for him? To be honest, Victor, I'm not too familiar with this artist, man. I've read The Ambassadors. I didn't realize this was his first book in 24 years. You know anything else about this Travis guy? Yeah. Sorry, Victor. I'd like to answer your question, but I'm not too sure. Yo, listen. My man Fulci comes in. First of all, you come in 2 hours late, sir. And then he's bringing in like you got to be the center over here. I loved my name. Keisha, what are your thoughts on Monarch?
I still only read the first one, but I have all of them. Like I said, I give it the full arc, so I'm waiting, and then I'm gonna read them back to back.
Yeah. What would you think of issue #1?
I liked it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Yeah, I was on that episode. I liked it. I liked it.
Okay. Fortune. You missed John Lees. This guy tells me, "Oh, John Lees is coming on the show. I'm there 100%." Oh, no, I hope you're doing okay, my man. Good to see you in the chats. Yeah. Before we get out of here, Keisha, anything else you wanna?
Right now, because life is kicking my behind, it's just what I'm doing online, reading books, reading comics. So you can catch me at this very long handle that I have put, Keisha's Literary Labyrinth. I also have the podcast Nerds, Herbs, and Words, but right now, we have 2 episodes coming out in the next few weeks. So check that out. It's on everywhere now, which is really, really cool.
Nice.
And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and then you gotta send me the details again for that your panel over in
Yes,
definitely. I
definitely.
gotta check that out. But yeah, you gotta come back more often, man. I love having you on here. Always a good vibes, good times with you.
Anytime you ask, I'm here.
I love it. And of course, check out. I don't know if I should, but I got some good feedback on your review for what was it?
The Great British Bump Off. I keep seeing it everywhere now, and I'm like,
It's so funny. So I got from a bunch of folks. They're like, oh, we love that. You got you're keeping it 100 because it's not an overly positive review. It was a mixed review. There's some things you enjoyed, some things you didn't, right?
Yeah.
And folks like that, right? They don't want to be told, I think, some not really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
At the end of the day, one, it's expensive, this habit. So if we're gonna talk about it, be as honest as possible with it. And I try to make sure, even if I didn't like something, somebody might like something about it. So
yeah, and that's such a great attitude and perspective to have it on it, right? Even if it personally, there might be something that someone else will get out of this book, right? But it's so funny because I'm seeing all kinds of stuff about issue number. I think it's 2 or 3, and I was like, oh, it's great. It's really deep, and I'm just like, I said, all right,
that's why I try to give things a few more because you never know, they might need some time to flesh things out.
Okay. Looking forward to the next review you've got, Keisha. I gotta send you some art your way. I think you might be into. But real talk, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everybody in the live chats for joining us. Victor, Fulci, the late comers, Ruben, everybody. I appreciate it. Fulci, he's like, there's 5 minutes left. Let me jump in right now. He's saying he needs his beauty rest. Okay, I can't be mad at that. We all need it.
Right.
Okay. So where can everybody find you at?
Keisha's Literary Labyrinth on everything except Twitter. Twitter is Keisha the Weirdo.
Yeah, I saw that. I started typing in and it was like, it's not coming up. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, you can't put that whole handle there. It's too long.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? It won't fit. Okay. But I love it. Keisha, what is it? Keisha that weirdo you said?
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you, my man. I know you're always supporting. I know we got, hey, it's Sunday morning, 11. It's not easy for everybody. Not easy for me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe, all that good stuff. Where's my outro? Let me find it here. Here we go. That's it. It's that time. It's a wrap, baby. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out Keisha's stuff on the socials. Keep an eye on nerdshow.com. All that goodness. We're back next week. Same time, same channel. We out of here.
Later.